Hello guys, so in this video we are going to talk about the general structure of the spinal cord. First of all, you should know about the shape of the spinal cord, then its length, its beginning points, its termination and how it terminates, then its coverings, and then we will talk about its internal structure as well. So spinal cord is about 45 centimeter long in males. Its shape is cylindrical. It begins at the foramen magnum and it terminates in adults at the lower border of the first lumbar vertebra, that is the L1. However, in the young children it is relatively longer and it thus terminates at the upper border of the L3 vertebra. Okay, so from this information we can conclude that the spinal cord occupies the upper 2/3 of the vertebral canal and is covered by the three meninges, that are the dura mater, the raconoid mater and the pia mater. Further protection is provided by the CSF, that is the cerebrospinal fluid, which is present in the subarachnoid space. In the cervical region it gives rise to the brachial plexus, and in the lower thoracic and lumbar regions it gives rise to the lumbar sacral plexus. There is the spinal cord enlargements that are called the cervical and lumbar enlargements. Inferiorly the spinal cord tapers off, and this tapering is called the conus medullaris. Thus it terminates in the form of the conus medullaris, where it can be seen here. This is the conus medullaris, that is the termination of the spinal cord. You can see this is a tapering type of ending. Then we can also see that from the conus medullaris there is a prolongation of the pia mater, which is called the filum terminale, which descends to attach on the posterior surface of the coccyx. The cord also possesses a deep longitudinal fissure that is called the anterior median fissure. On the anterior side in the midline, however, there is a shallow furrow present on the posterior surface, which is called the posterior median sulcus. Here we can recognize the anterior median fissure, and this is the posterior median sulcus. So along the entire length of the spinal cord, 31 pairs of the spinal nerves are attached by the anterior or motor roots and the posterior or sensory roots. So you can see that the anterior or motor roots and the posterior or the sensory roots join to form a spinal nerve, and this spinal nerve is thus a mixed nerve. It contains both the motor as well as the sensory fibers, and you can also see that there are the various rootlets through which these roots are joined to the spinal cord. On the posterior root of the spinal nerve we can recognize the posterior root ganglion. So this was about the general structure of the spinal cord.